Welcome to the Mayweather versus Pacquiao conference call. If at any time you'd like to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. I will now turn the call over to Chris de Blasio.
Thank you, operator, and thanks to all the press for jumping on the line so quickly. Wanted to make our executives available. Steven Espinoza from Showtime Sports, Ken Hershman from HBO Sports are on the line with us tonight. And we're going to take a few questions from the press and talk about the initial excitement here for this May 2nd pay-per-view event. So without further ado, I'd like to ask Steven to make an initial comment, and also we'll hear from Ken right away, and then we'll go to questions. Thanks, guys.
Thank you all for getting on so quickly. We're obviously thrilled to be a part of this, what we expect will be a record-breaking event. This deal is the product of a lot of hard work, some blood, sweat, and tears along the way from a team of many people, starting with our senior executives, not only of Showtime but also at CBS, the Mayweather team and Floyd Mayweather, as well as our counterparts at HBO and, of course, Manny Pacquiao and his team. I took this job approximately 3 years ago. The Mayweather-Pacquiao fight has been a topic of conversation, has been a goal of not only ours, but of Floyd Mayweather's since he came over to Showtime a little less than 3 years ago. We believed this day would come. We worked hard to make it happen, and we're thrilled that it's here. I will now turn it over to Ken for his comments as well.
Stephen, let me reiterate, this is what Stephen just said. It's what we're in this sport for. This is the biggest boxing event of all time. We're confident of that, and we couldn't be prouder to be a part of it and to have helped craft it. And we look forward to May 2nd. It's going to be a spectacular night for the sport, and a spectacular night for HBO and Showtime as well. So, we're looking forward to getting going, and there's a lot of hard work ahead of us. And we'll throw it open to questions now and answer what we can, but recognize that this obviously just came together. So there's a lot more work to come and details to come. So we might not be able to answer everything right now.
As a reminder, if you would like to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. The first question comes from Black Sports Online, Robert Littell.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Stephen and Ken. The question that I had, and this is specifically for Stephen, how much of an effect in getting this thing done had to do with Mayweather accidentally running into Manny Pacquiao at the Heat game? It seemed like once that happened, things really started moving in a positive direction.
It's one of those fortuitous coincidences that we probably could never have planned, but we're very lucky to have happened. I wouldn't say that the deal wouldn't have happened without that, but it certainly wouldn't have happened that quickly. Possibly wouldn't have happened at all. But I believe that the direct line of communication between Floyd and Manny cleared up a lot of doubts in both of their minds, and sort of renewed their commitment to getting this fight done.
And the second question that I had, a lot of fans are wondering, because it's such a big fight, will the pay-per-view prices be different than your standard Mayweather or your standard Pacquiao fight?
Well, at this point, as Ken mentioned, we are very early in the process. We haven't even begun conversations with our distributors. Once we get those agreements in place, we'll be able to provide information such as the retail press. We've seen a lot of speculation already in the press about the suggested price, and that's incorrect. It has not yet been decided.
All right, thank you. And Ken, one last final question for you. We do know a couple of years ago there was some, disagreements between HBO and Showtime. Do you feel now with Mayweather and Pacquiao coming together that gap or that bridge has now been made, and there will be more, working together between the two networks to bring, fans the best fights that they're looking for?
Yeah, look, I think that, we each have our businesses to run, and clearly, that is, we're gonna continue to compete with each other the way we always do, and that's healthy for the sport, we think. And if something of this magnitude presents itself, and the only way to get it done is to collaborate, then I know we have the ability to get something done, or at least have a conversation. Everything is on the table. We can't always work it out, but this time we did, and we're happy we did, and we look forward to May 2nd.
Thank you, gentlemen, very much for answering my questions.
The next question comes from Las Vegas Review, Steve Karp.
Gentlemen,
Hey,
congratulations on getting this done. Could you clarify, first of all, I know it's a collaborative effort, but will the fight be shown on just a channel separate from Showtime and HBO, like a regular pay-per-view would be? In other words, in Vegas here, it's cable 501. It's just a regular channel for pay-per-view. Is that how this will work?
Yeah, this is traditional pay-per-views. There'll be nothing out of the ordinary on that front.
Okay, so it won't be on Showtime pay-per-view, and it won't be on HBO pay-per-view. Also, guys, could you clarify who the announcing team will be?
Again, and I may sound like a broken record, as will Ken, we've had significant discussions about who will make up the team. We haven't resolved all of that yet. It will be an all-star team. That being said, a combination of talent from both networks. We'll be ready probably to announce that in the coming weeks, but at this point it's not yet final.
No, because there were rumors that Jim Lampley would be the blow-by-blow, Al Bernstein would be the color, James Brown would be the host for the fight, and Max Kellerman and somebody else would be and Jim Gray would be the so to speak, the announcers, the sideline reporters.
At this point, we're not quite ready to confirm any of those arrangements. We'd like to finalize everything so we can give you a complete picture of what's going on, and we expect to be able to do that fairly shortly.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Steve.
Our next question comes from Ring TV, Andreas Hale.
Hello, gentlemen. Again for having this call. My question is, with Floyd Mayweather, and this goes to you, Stephen, with Floyd Mayweather having 2 fights left on his contract, can you shed any light on if there is an immediate rematch clause?
I can. There's this is a one-fight deal.
Okay, so it is a one-fight deal. Okay, and my other question, and this goes to both of you, when it came to the negotiations, was the HBO Showtime collaboration the final thing that needed to get done, or was there something else you could shed some light on how this all came together?
Ken, you want to take that first?
Yeah, I think, look, it required a consensus among everybody, and the timing was, everyone was working really hard and in good faith to get everything done. There was no, hold up on one end or the other. It was really all simultaneous, and, I think that what it shows is that, everybody was truly motivated to cooperate and make concessions that they found uncomfortable at times, difficult to come to that place, and that's a sign of a fair deal. Is that everybody compromised, and everyone compromised at the right time, and it's really a credit to Floyd and to Manny that they pushed their respective teams and networks to get this done, and I think it's a credit to Stephen and his staff and team for the way they handled themselves through this, and we look forward to that spirit continuing all the way through May 2nd, and then we'll go back to our regular day jobs after that.
Yeah. All right, great. Thank you, guys.
The next question is from Fox Sports, Marvin Vipeda.
Hi, gentlemen. How are you? Just wondering about the All Access series and also the 24/7. Are those still going to go on your respective channels?
Yeah, again, I think that I'll take Steven's approach. We haven't really figured out exactly what we're going to do. We know we're going to do programming to support this. It deserves it, but those details have yet to be fully fleshed out. So we'll get you that information as soon as we have it.
Thank you, gentlemen.
The next question is from Complex Media, Anthony Asensio.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. My first question is, do you guys have any insight as to why Floyd was so hung up on the May 2nd date? And while we all know it's the biggest fight of all time, do you think there is enough time to execute a proper promotion with all the productions you guys will have to put together?
With respect to the date, this is Steven. With respect to the date, that's been a bit of a tradition for Floyd in recent years. He is a creature of habit, and he sort of has attuned his body and his performance to the May and September dates. So he, in his mind, had definitively made a decision he was fighting on May 2nd, and the only question left was which opponent. He was fixated, quite honestly, on Manny Pacquiao, and continued to push us for that fight, and really never focused on anyone else. And what was the second piece of the question?
I just said, while we all know this is no matter what the biggest fight of all time, do you guys have enough time to execute a proper promotion with all the things still outstanding in terms of who's going to call what, whether you're going to produce this docu-series and whatnot?
It will be a tremendous amount of work. It will be a complex undertaking, but we're confident that between the smart people here at Showtime and the smart people at HBO, that we'll have everything in order to do a tremendous promotion and pull off the biggest boxing event that the sport has ever seen.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
The next question is from Univision Sports with Angel Rodriguez.
Yes. Do you have already agreement of the ways, the titles in line and the promotion tour?
Chris, did you get that question? I didn't get that
the
question.
Weight is 147 pounds.
All three titles, all three welterweight titles are at stake, and I think the promotional tour or the publicity schedule is something that we're still finalizing, and details have not yet been set.
Okay, thank you.
The next question is from Boxing Scene, David Greisman.
Hi, good evening. You mentioned some of the compromises and concessions. What did you all need to concede on in order to make this deal on the network side? And what are some of the compromises that you were able to speak to at this moment?
I'll let Steven answer for him, but for me, I'd prefer to, leave the negotiations behind us. We got the deal done, which is the important thing. And, our focus from here forward is how do we make this, into the biggest event of all time, and how do we collaborate to do that? So I'm looking forward, not back.
Okay. I think the only comment I'd make about the negotiation process is really to echo what Ken said. Each side in this negotiation, bore some of the pain of making the deal. Everyone made compromises, and that's why it got done. And we are looking forward to making this the biggest event ever.
I apologize if this is one of those topics that's still being resolved at this moment, but in terms of the replay, I know that you're looking at May 2nd, but in terms of the replay, do both networks have rights to replay this fight 1 week later?
The replay is something we're not discussing at this point.
All right. Thank you both.
Thank you, David.
The next question is from FightNews.com, Gary Williams.
Yes, hi. Good evening. We're to assume that the drug situation, the drug testing, is in good shape. How did that come about, and how did that get squared away for this fight to take place?
That piece was really something that was handled directly between the boxers and the promoters. So to be completely candid, Ken and I aren't really in the best position to really address that at all.
All right, thank you very much.
The next question is from BoxingScene.com, Jake Donovan.
This question is for both of you. I mean, you can choose who answers first. What was your relationship going into this before the negotiations, and would you say that your relationship has improved as a result of getting the fight done?
We're best friends.
Come on.
No, look, we work for competitors, but it doesn't mean that we don't travel with the same people in the same circles, and we've known each other a long time, and there's a lot of history. So it's not difficult to get on the phone and talk about what challenges we have with certain positions and reflect that in the deal and what issues they have at Showtime to contend with. And it's a very healthy relationship, and it doesn't matter if we're going out for a beer afterwards. What's important is that as I said before, that we did everything we could to get this deal done. And I have a lot of respect for what Showtime has accomplished. Obviously, I worked there for a big chunk of my career, and I wouldn't have stayed there if it wasn't a fantastic place. I have a lot of friends there still, and I think that that's going to make this a really fun experience for me, is being able to work with a whole team of people that I worked with for 20 plus years.
Thank you.
I would for my part, I'd characterize the entire process as collegial. Just because it was a complex, complicated negotiation, doesn't it doesn't mean that it was confrontational. And this got done in a very respectful and collegial way. With respect to Ken, I'd echo the comments. I respect him. I've known him both as a lawyer and an executive. The sort of interesting piece, Ken and I got to know each other when we were on sort of opposite sides of the Mike Tyson business. When I was one of Mike's lawyers, and Ken was legal and business affairs here at Showtime. So we've dealt with each other in a number of different roles over the years, and I think that's helped the process thus far, and will continue to help it as we work together over the next few months.
Okay, great. Thank you both very much, and congratulations on getting it done.
The next question is from The Guardian, Brian Graham.
Hi, guys. Congratulations. When it comes to the mechanics of the joint pay-per-view, how helpful as a blueprint was the Tyson-Lewis promotion that HBO and Showtime collaborated on 13 years ago, or was it completely irrelevant?
I think it was a real good roadmap for all of us. It showed, number one, that this can be done successfully, and that there's a lot of mechanics that go into this when two networks are working together, and those mechanics carry forward just in terms of how things operate behind the scenes. So I think it was really helpful, and we actually, and Stephen, I think would reinforce this. We referred to that as a roadmap, and we didn't exactly follow it, but it was really healthy that we had it.
And it was a help, but also keep in mind there are some elements of this deal which were never addressed, were never considered or contemplated in Lewis Tyson. For example, at Lewis Tyson, there really wasn't the concept of behind-the-scenes shows. So that's an element that has obviously come up in the meantime. So not only are there differences in the companies and sort of the business objectives between now and then, there are some elements of the business that have changed as well.
And one other thing, is there any point that either of you can sort of point to during the negotiations where either of you felt that things had kind of turned the corner? Anything that you look back to?
I'm not sure. I think the meeting the meeting between Floyd and Manny at the Heat game, I think certainly greased the wheels in some ways in getting through the final stages of the process. But I think really, one of the main reasons this deal got done when the other ones didn't was really having Leslie Moonves as part of the process. He was deeply committed to making this deal. He is someone that all parties in this negotiation respected, and he was really the catalyst for seeing this through. Really refused to take no for an answer from any side, and really was there making sure that the parties came together in a successful and a cooperative manner.
I think we have time for one more question, Chris.
Yeah, thank you, Ray. Operator, if we have one more, we'll take it, and then we'll let the guys go off on a Friday evening here after a long week. Thank you.
The next question is from Boxing Insider, Sean Kroos.
Hi. First of all, congratulations to everyone. I just wanted to ask, there is no room for rematch. As difficult as it was, if a rematch is asked for, would you guys be willing to go through it all again?
Let's get through May 2nd for me.
That's right.
See how it goes. And ask me that question on May 3rd.
Yeah, the reality is, if it's something the fans want and it's something the fighters want, then the networks will find a way to make it happen.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much.
All right, everybody, want to thank you for your time. You know how to reach Raymond, myself. We look forward to working with you throughout this promotion. Ken, of course, Ray, I'm looking forward to working with you guys personally. So, great. Glad to have the opportunity.
Thank you for everybody.
Good night.